At Lowe's, before the holidays is the perfect time for upgrades and upkeep. During Black Friday, get up to 50% off select major appliances and buy more to save more with up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, grab select DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kits for just $99. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Okay, so you know how sometimes you tell yourself you're just going to watch one little true crime video on TikTok before bed, and then suddenly it's like 3 hours later and you're deep into a rabbit hole about 5 grown men found in the woods and like 2 dudes wearing lead masks for no reason? Yeah, this episode is exactly that. In case you were wondering, which I'm sure you are not, I am at the point in my high where I'm manual breathing, where like, I don't know what else to call it. I can't call it automatic breathing because my body's not automatically doing it. So I say manual breathing because I'm doing it so that I know that I'm breathing, you know? And it's rough. Especially while I'm trying to talk, because while I'm talking, it's like my lungs are going, hey, you have to breathe, you know? Well, it would be my mind saying you have to breathe, but my lungs screaming, I need air, you know? You know what I'm talking about? Welcome back to Don't Quote Me, It's Probably Nothing, the podcast where we try to understand the world and somehow end up even more confused every single time. I'm Kelly, and today I'm bringing you 3 strange unsolved cases that absolutely should not exist, but unfortunately, they do. I wanted to try something a little different. I probably should have said I want to try something a little different before I mentioned the strange unsolved cases. Just pretend I did. Okay. So grab your snacks, maybe leave one light on, and remember, if anything doesn't make sense, it's probably nothing. Okay, first up on our list of strange unsolved cases is one that I actually think about pretty often. This one sits rent-free in my brain, eating snacks and like leaving crumbs everywhere. And if you haven't noticed yet, I like snacks. I talk about snacks often. Like when I go to Disney, you think I'm excited to go to Disney for like the rides or the nostalgia. No, it's the freaking snacks. The pickle milkshake, out of this world. Fantastic. Give me 14 of them right now. I don't know if he says fantastic or if you even know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I will try my absolute best to keep my brain on track with telling you whatever it is I'm going to tell you today, because it's wild up here right now. My brain's going in like a million different directions. Okay, so this case is called the Yuba County Five, and some people call it America's Dyatlov Pass. And honestly, yeah, because nothing in this case is normal. Nothing. So this case is like if 5 people took a wrong turn into the Twilight Zone and the GPS was like recalculating, but also good luck. But also, speaking of Twilight Zone, okay, so the Tower of Terror is like one of my favorite rides ever, right? But it does kind of give me like a mini heart attack every time. But anyway, so me and my friend were riding the Tower of Terror when we went to Disney, and I was so scared. I get scared every time. Not scared, like excited. I get excited every time. And nervous, you know? So anyway, so she sat on the end next to the wall, and there was this little girl next to me. It was her first time riding it. And so I was super excited that I got to sit next to her because I could like feel her excitement. It was great. So I get in my seat and I'm holding on to the bar on the wall. So like my friend was not going anywhere because I literally had her locked in her seat, like, because I was reaching across and squeezing that bar so tight. And then there's also a handle next to me. So the reason why I don't like holding on to the handles is because I have really short arms. I have really short arms, and I can only hang on. Sorry, I'm trying like not to giggle, but I can only hang on with like the tips of my fingers. So I don't hold on to the handle. So I try to get the end seat if I can. So anyway, I ended up grabbing onto the one handle next to me. So this poor little girl had nothing. But anyway, so I had my friend locked in and I reached next to me for that handle. But that was the handle that like the little girl was supposed to hold on to. But you know what? Live and learn, kid, because I'm not flying all over the place in this seat. Like I remember the first time we took the kids, I forgot to tell Jim that there was something to hold on to and his arms were flailing all over the place. You ever see the videos where like they take a cannon and then like shoot like a crash dummy out of it and arms are flailing everywhere? Or like Handsome Squidward when he's like spinning through the Krusty Krab. Or not Handsome Squidward, it was Squidward and then he became handsome after he did that. But anyway, that's how he was. But when we got off that ride with when the kids were younger, James goes, "That gave me a heart attack." So now I literally say that every time I get off. But I say it low enough to where like if someone was overhearing me, they didn't hear me and go, "Oh, this idiot has a speech impediment, like she must be really special." Especially being an adult at 37 years old and loving Disney so much. Anyway, back to unsolved stuff. So it's February 24th, 1978, and 5 friends, all guys between 24 and 32, head to a basketball game in Chicago, California. So their names were, and I'm probably going to mess these up, so I apologize already, but their names were Ted Wire, Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Jack Hewitt, and Gary Mathias. I feel like I got those names wrong. I felt like there wasn't 2 Jacks, but maybe there was. So they're often described as having mild intellectual disabilities or mental health challenges. But the important part is that these are like routine guys. They're homebodies, like very into their schedules. So the next day they're supposed to play their own basketball game in a Special Olympics like tournament. And they were hyped, like jerseys laid out, packed snacks, ready to go. Like these men were not the let's go off-roading into the mountains at 2 a.m. type. They were the like, please don't be late to the game type. So they watch the game they're at, they leave the arena, they get back in Jack's car, and then they vanish. Fast forward to the next day, and their families are like, hello, they would never miss their own basketball tournament. Something is wrong. So 4 days later, police find the car. But where's the car, you ask? I will tell you. 70 miles off course into the Plumas National Forest, up winding mountain roads that none of them knew. At night, for no reason, in February, with snow. So the car itself is a problem, and here's what makes it weird. The car wasn't struck, wasn't damaged, the keys weren't missing, the tires were fine. Police started it up and it worked perfectly, and 5 grown men could have easily pushed it if it got stuck. But instead, it's just abandoned on a logging road, like, okay, bye. Also, inside the car, there were no signs of a struggle, no signs of panic, no footprints around like the car, no attempt to walk back down the road. So months pass and the snow melts, and finally, searchers find something. So about 20 miles from the abandoned car, they find a U.S. Forest Service trailer, a little cabin like type shelter, and inside was Ted. But here's where the case gets super weird. So Ted survived the longest, up to 13 weeks. And we know this from beard growth, weight loss, and how he was found. So Ted had wrapped himself in blankets, like multiple blankets. He had frostbite, gangrene, and was severely malnourished. However, the trailer had food. Like lots of it. So there was enough canned food to feed all 5 men for months. There were matches, wood, a fireplace, fuel, bedding, everything needed to survive. But he only ate a little and then stopped. Like if I'm starving in the woods and find a cabin full of food, like that place is getting ransacked. Okay. I will be in that pantry like Winnie the Pooh in a honey pot. So the bodies of the others were found near the trailer. Jack and Bill were found in the woods about 11 miles from the car. And a little farther under brush were bones belonging to Jack. And actually, you know what? I think that other person's name is Hack, or it's just a typo, and there are 2 Jacks. I wrote this morning before work, but I wasn't high when I wrote it, so maybe my typing was just too terrible. But anyway, but the 5th man, Gary, is never found. Ever. It's like he walked into like another dimension. His shoes, though, were found in the trailer, meaning he made it there, but left. But also, like, why didn't they build a fire or eat the food or use the working heater, leave footprints around the car, like walk downhill towards safety instead of uphill into more snow? And why were they even on that mountain road? And where's Gary? Now, there were a few strange witness stories. So a man claimed he saw them the night they disappeared. He said they came to his cabin, asked for help, and he panicked and didn't answer. He said he was scared they might attack him. The timeline could fit, but he didn't report it until months later, which to me, that's suspicious because like they came to his cabin and asked for help and you panicked and didn't answer and because you were scared and then you didn't report it until months later. Like, did you do something to them, my guy? But anyway, a woman saw a group that looked like them at a gas station with a baby, but I don't know what baby or whose baby. Okay, so here's what I genuinely think. And by think, I mean my brain made this up while I was in bed eating Cheez-Its. Okay, so I think something happened in the car that was big enough to make them panic and leave, or panic enough that sticking together wasn't an option. Because like, was someone following them? Or did like Gary go crazy? And the others didn't know what to do? Or did they pick someone up? Or did someone block the road? Or did they see something they shouldn't have? Or, and this one's my personal favorite, what if there was a glitch in the simulation? Like they drove onto a road they weren't supposed to exist on. And the universe was like rerouting, but forgot to like actually reroute them. So yeah, that's the Yuba County Five. A case with more questions than answers and absolutely zero logical explanation. Okay, so the next case involves two men wearing lead masks waiting for a mystery signal. Like, what kind of Tuesday is this? Okay, so this case, I don't even know where to begin. So it's like someone took a sci-fi movie, a chemistry class, and like the weirdest group project ever, and then threw them into one mystery. Okay, so this is the lead masks case from 1966. And it's a story about two men in Brazil who went up a hill wearing raincoats, carrying towels, and lead masks, and then died. Mystery capsules were involved, a cryptic notebook, and absolutely no explanation. Just a casual Tuesday. So the two men, again, my apologies for the pronunciation on these names. So the two men were Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel Jose Viana. Both were electronics technicians. They were smart and methodical. Not like, let's go die on a hill, guys. So they lived in Brazil and they were known for like tinkering with radios and circuits and like weird little experiments. Not like dangerous stuff, just electronic, like nerd stuff. So these are the type of men who would absolutely correct you if you like called a wire a string or something, like, you know, the type. So on August 17th, 1966, the men told their families they were going to buy some supplies for work. So they bought raincoats, a water bottle, 2 towels, and 2 lead masks. But the lead masks were like homemade though, like giant metal sunglasses that cover your eyes. And then they took a bus to Vinton Hill, a place known for like spiritualist gatherings, UFO sightings, occult rumors, and allegedly people trying to make contact with something. So let's not do that, because I don't know about you, but if someone invites me to a hill, okay, known for like UFO meetups or something, just FaceTime me. I'll watch from the safety of my own home. Unless they know where I am because I'm on FaceTime, then no bueno. No FaceTime. And then if they come to my house, I'll like, I don't know, get a sword or something and be like, my name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I love The Princess Bride. It's my literal favoriteest movie ever. The best. Everything about it is perfection. But anyway, I don't know where I left off. Okay, so 2 days later, on August 20th, a boy flying a kite noticed something weird in the grass. So he and his friends run down the hill, look, and they find 2 men laying perfectly side by side on their backs, hands neatly placed, dressed in suits, raincoats, and wearing lead eye masks. Like they were tanning, but dead. So police come, and this is when the case becomes completely bonkers. So near the bodies was a small notebook, and inside of it was written 1630, and this is like the time. So it's like 16, the 2 dot thing, and then 30. I don't know why I just described that to you. But anyway, so it says 1630, be at the specified location. 1830, ingest capsules. After effect, protect metals, await signal. So their cause of death? No idea. The autopsy revealed no trauma, no signs of violence, no burns, no radiation, no organ damage, no poison detected. And their stomachs were empty except for the water. The water bottle they bought on the way there was right next to them. And those mysterious capsules were never found. Like, were they drugs or medication or homemade spiritual concoctions? No idea. And because Brazil's labs at the time didn't do full toxicology on every little thing, we will literally never know. When I just said that, I pictured Lee McNasty when he does like the students thing. He's like, I literally don't even care. He's my favorite. He is so funny. And the cat videos kill me because I have a million cats and they're literally tearing shit up at nighttime. But anyway, there are so many theories, but let's run through the big ones. So the first one is UFO or contact experiment. Sorry, I keep licking my lips. My lips are really chapped right now. Even though I put chapstick on 50,000 times a day and sleep with a lip mask on overnight, and they're still super dry. You know why? I haven't been drinking enough water. I think that's why. Also, I have cotton mouth right now. That also could be why. Anyway, so some believe the lead masks were meant to protect their eyes from a bright light, like a flash or an appearance of something not human. People on that hill reported lights and sightings before. So the next theory is, I literally just sounded like a newscaster, a news person. Can you see me doing the news? That would be so fun. I couldn't get anything out on the news anyway. I'd laugh every 20 seconds, or I could not. My eyes could not keep up with that teleprompter. I'd be like the dude in, what's that movie with Steve Carell. I almost said Chris Farrell. Even though I was probably thinking of Chris Farley, but it wasn't Chris Farley, obviously. But anyway, it was Steve Carell and Jim Carrey, and I think Jennifer Aniston was in it. And you know what? I think I'm thinking of like 3 different movies. Because am I also thinking of Anchorman? I don't know. But anyway, if I were on the news reading stuff, I'd be like, Anyway, the next theory is a DIY scientific experiment gone wrong. So they were electronics techs. So some think that they tried to send a radio signal or receive one using chemicals or hallucinogens, and the experiment went way south. Then there's like a scammer setup. Someone may have tricked them into taking capsules and going up the hill, but there's no evidence. And if someone killed them, why the neat body positions? And why no drug or injury evidence? And why the masks? Killers don't usually accessorize their victims, I don't think. And I said usually because some might. I don't know why I left at that. Anyway, there's also the spiritualist ritual. So Brazil in the 60s had a lot of underground spiritualist groups. Some tried astral projection, psychic experiments, spirit communication, and hypnotic trance journeys. So the masks might have been a part of a ritual to block earthly light during an out-of-body experience. But what if they were astral projecting and then just like got stuck in the astral somewhere and like couldn't get back to their bodies? And also, I'm not saying aliens. I'm just saying maybe aliens. So here's my theory. So besides the astral projecting thing that I just mentioned, I think they genuinely thought they were going to communicate with something like radio wave spirits, aliens, the universe, whatever. And they didn't go up the hill to die. They weren't up there expecting like something to happen. The masks were for protection. I don't know what the towels were for. And I think that like the capsules were to prepare the mind. The signal was a moment they were waiting for, but also maybe that signal never came. Or maybe it did and it was like too much. Or maybe the capsules they took were like stronger than expected. But whatever happened, I feel like it was intentional and also completely misinformed. And that is the lead masks case, which I bet you still have questions. I was about to say, I bet you still have answers. Okay. Take a deep breath, hydrate, maybe take a capsule of your own. The legal kind, though, because our final case today is pure internet chaos. So this is the story of Cicada 3301, and it's a mysterious internet organization that appeared out of nowhere, dropped some of the most complex puzzles ever seen on the internet, and then disappeared again. If your brain doesn't hurt by the end of this, then I don't know, maybe you're smart or something. Okay, so pretend you're on 4chan. Okay, so you're scrolling through chaos, the memes, the questionable life choices. And suddenly you see a black image with white text that just says, "We are looking for highly intelligent individuals." And at the bottom, it just says Cicada 3301. And that's it. No context, no explanation, just an invitation to the world's hardest escape room. Except there's no room. And also no escaping. So what did the puzzle look like? So the image was actually encoded, like deep down in its pixels, hidden in the metadata with clues. And those clues led to codes, ancient text, steganography, GPS coordinates, more codes, hidden websites, Tor network links, runes, whatever the fuck they are, cryptography levels that require actual degrees. Like, this was like Wordle on crack. Sudoku with a vengeance. Now, the GPS coordinates were actual, like, real-world locations, and they were, I feel like I want to include a drum roll here, just pretend that this is the drum roll. I don't know why I wanted to include one, but I feel like it's a game show, like, they were, you know? Anyway, Warsaw, Poland, Seattle, Washington, Sydney, Australia, Seoul, South Korea, Miami, Florida, and I'm terribly sorry, Haliwa, Hawaii? Hopefully I said that right. Oh, and Paris, France. So people went to these locations and found posters taped to telephone poles with like QR codes on them. So now you have like random people running around the world scanning QR codes for something that like nobody understands. So the QR posters were only up for a short amount of time, as if like the person or group behind this had like people everywhere just like watching. So what even is the point of all this? Well, according to the message, Cicada 3301 claimed that they were looking for highly intelligent individuals. So whoever solved the puzzle first would eventually receive an email. This email invited them to the next stage, and that part was private. So what was in the private stages? We don't know. Why? Because everyone who got in shut up as soon as they did. Like, I don't know, maybe they signed an NDA or something. So from the handful of people who spoke publicly without details, so there were a handful of people who spoke publicly, and they said that solvers were screened and tested again privately, and they had to prove that they could think independently, that they were assigned tasks, and then the group just like ghosted them. Communication just like stopped. But like also imagine you work your entire brain into like a migraine to solve like a global puzzle, feel like a freaking genius, and then the creators are just like, bye. Rude. Did I ever tell you why I say rude like that? I think I did it on a previous episode, but I'm going to tell you anyway in case you're new here. So I say rude like that because there's a video of going around on TikTok or wherever you get your videos of the mom who had like a video conference and the daughter was sitting in the back and the lady thought she was a ghost. Anyway, look it up if you want to see what I'm talking about. Go to TikTok or something or Google and type in like daughter ghost behind mom or some shit like that. I'm sure it'll come up because it's hilarious. But anyway, as if the first time wasn't enough, Cicada came back in 2013 and 2014. So each time the puzzles were different. They were harder, more cryptographic, more literary, more global, more bizarre. And it wasn't a game, it was a recruitment pipeline, but for who? And also here's the juicy part. So there's several theories, but none of them are proven. Numero uno, the CIA, NSA, or government recruitment. So smart people online said, yeah, this feels like a government op because government agencies do recruit via puzzles. NSA has done this before. The CIA loves a code, but this puzzle required anonymity, logic, cryptography, discipline, typical like intel skills. Some clues reference privacy and anti-surveillance, but NSA and CIA both publicly denied it, which means absolutely nothing because they lie all the time. So the second theory is the hacker collective, something like Anonymous, a private intelligence contractor, or a cyber terrorism group, or like a darknet organization. This has some evidence because the puzzles use Tor, required encryption skills, and rewarded anonymity, but no hacker group has ever claimed it, and hackers love attention, so weird. The third theory is a secret academic society. So some people think it's university group, cryptography club, private think tank, or an elite intellectual society because the puzzles referenced everything. Literature, ancient philosophy, mathematics, data security, music theory, poetry, classical art, like who knows all of this stuff but smart people, okay? Okay, so I just have to tell, like, it said classical art, but like there's like a classical music story I have to tell you real quick. So I was in philosophy class in college. Why did I say that class? Because it doesn't even freaking matter. I was in a classroom and there was this one girl there. She may have been a tad bit weird. Like, I'm weird as hell for sure. But this one may have been a little weirder. A little bit. So anyway, I guess she listens to classical music. So she walked in one day all pissed off, like stomping around with her headphones on, and she plops in the seat and everybody goes, so class hadn't started yet. So the instructor wasn't even in there. We still had like 20 minutes. So everything got like real quiet and like you could hear the music coming from her headphones. And like it's as soon as she sat down and as soon as it went quiet, all you heard was like, oh. Sorry I was laughing when I did that. I'm really not that bad of a singer. Just kidding. I'm fucking terrible. But like when I just did that, I hope you know, like my eyes were closed and my hands were shaking in the air. I forget where I was at. Oh yeah. So theory 4 is an ARG, which stands for alternate reality game. And that would mean it was a really well-made one. But it never promoted anything. No book, no movie, no show, no merch. It made no money. And ARG creators love money. So the next one is the privacy organization theory. This one is the most convincing. So Cicada 3301 may be a decentralized group focused on privacy, cryptography, and digital freedom. So recruiting people who can build or protect secure systems, maybe to fight surveillance or expose corruption, because almost every puzzle referenced PGP encryption, free information, non-commercial values, independence, and knowledge for the sake of knowledge. And this last theory is like a wild mystical theory. So some believe that Cicada was a cult, a spiritual society, or a group experimenting with consciousness using ancient texts and numerology and cryptic symbolism, because some puzzles used runes, prime numbers, ancient poetry, like someone was trying to like awaken a certain type of mind. And okay, here's my theory based purely on vibes and too much caffeine and weed. So Cicada 3301 is a group of people who realize the world is becoming unhinged and they wanted to find the smartest, most independent thinkers possible. Not rule followers, no people who need direction, but people who can figure out patterns, systems, meaning people who don't panic in chaos. Maybe they wanted to build something or prevent something, or they're preparing for something we don't know about yet. And the reason that they ghosted the solvers is because the ones that they wanted, they kept privately. And everyone else, thank you for your time and goodbye. But here's what still makes no sense. No one has claimed responsibility in 12 years. No leaks, no whistleblowers. Posters went up across continents at the same time. No evidence of it being corporate or commercial. Nothing was ever monetized. The puzzle stopped after 2014 with just one last message saying, "We do not recruit anymore." And then silence, which is the internet equivalent of vanishing into a fog. And that was the Cicada 3301, which every single one of these has left me with more questions, for real. Okay, it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show. Or maybe it's everyone's favorite part of the show, I don't know. But it's time for the Docket of Dumb, where I bring you real headlines with no context from the past week or two that make me question humanity and also my own life choices for reading them. Oh yeah, and brr, 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 brr. Sheriff calls out dumb criminal of the week after turtle egg and drug bust in Florida. Man acquitted after throwing a Subway sandwich at a federal agent ends up dubbed Sandwich Guy. Ex-convicted arson suspect charged with federal terrorism for allegedly setting woman on fire on Chicago train. Piles of bizarre recent mugshots make the mugshot circus a ring of the weirdest arrest list. FBI reportedly spent nearly $1 million on redacting documents in high-profile case files ahead of its release. I think they're talking about Epstein. And that concludes this week's Docket of Dumb, a collection of headlines that somehow are all real and probably nothing. But also, I just want to say that launching a footlong at a Fed made me chuckle because, like, imagine you're like the guy just standing there doing your job, and then suddenly you're blasted in the face with like a sweet onion chicken teriyaki. At least it would like kind of taste good. You know what? I haven't had one of those in like a really, really long time. The first time I had Subway, literally, I was in my 20s. And my friend looked at me like I was dumb because I kept going, what's Subway? What's Subway? And instead of fucking explaining it to me, her response was just the $5 foot long. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't tell me shit. Okay, what the fuck is Subway? She could have just said a place that makes sandwiches. That's all she had to say. Instead, she sang me the damn jingle that I now have been singing out loud randomly whenever I feel like it for the past almost 20 years. But anyway, that wraps up today's chaotic field trip through the world's strangest unsolved cases. If any of this keeps you up tonight, same, but also it probably won't keep me up. Shout out to everyone listening on Nighthawk Radio. Thank you for hanging out with me on another True Crime Tuesday. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to follow the show, leave a rating, tell your friends, tell your neighbor, tell the weird man at Wawa who buys scratch-offs at 6 a.m. Honestly, spread the word however your little heart desires. This week's song of the week is Lying to Yourself by Pat Hat. Okay, Gus Buzz. But anyway, it's a whole vibe, a whole mood, and I just love it so much. And I hope you do too. You'll hear me Friday for another episode of Don't Quote Me. It's probably nothing. Until then, stay weird, stay curious, go be kind to someone for no reason, and go be amazing.
Like a footprint in the frost, so goddamn lost, always running in the night. Got a head full of voices, a taste for bad choices, only know what destroys us. You can blame it on the season. Like a gospel in a gun. There's so much damn blood. What are we doing this for? Got a heart full of regrets. Gambled our best bets. Always looking for what's next. You can blame it on your problems. Nothing's gonna solve
At Lowe's, before the holidays is the perfect time for upgrades and upkeep. During Black Friday, get up to 50% off select major appliances and buy more to save more with up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, grab select DeWalt 20-volt max drill or impact driver kits for just $99. Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 12/3. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.